mind. Truth on my mind. I got truth on my mind. Truth on my mind.
Hey, listen, you are now rocking with Mickey Truth. She live up to her name, not the fame. So make sure y'all subscribe to her channel and stay updated on what's real. Bye.
Good reporting ass Mickey.
We love you, Mickey. Mickey talks the truth. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. Tell a friend to pull up on your girl, Mickey Truth. We is live with it. Good morning, Truth Team. Good morning. I hope everybody had a great weekend. We are back at it, okay? Before we get too deep into this thing, let's go ahead and get the disclosures out. Y'all already know all information contained on this live is for entertainment, heavy on a mother effing entertainment, educational purposes only. All information used on this live is per the Fair Use Act, and any conclusion that you draw is on you and your mama, not nobody on this channel, this panel, or in this chat. And another disclaimer for those who have not read the description to my channel, I am not a lawyer. Nothing I say should be used as legal advice because it's not legal advice, okay? If you do need legal advice, however, you can go talk to an actual licensed lawyer or attorney of your choosing, all right? And like the disclaimer says in the video, that you can actually see the consequences of anything that you try to run with from the channel is definitely on you, all right? So with that being said, hey, just sit back, enjoy my opinion based off my free thoughts of what I'm listening to. And y'all let me know what y'all think in the chat. Let's get started.
You can't handle the truth.
Bam. And there you have it. All right, y'all. So today is going to be pretty interesting. First and foremost, I will be traveling most of the day. So I'm set up now, but at some point I'm going to be in my car. So with that being said, I hope my service stays right so it won't be any interruption. But if it is, y'all already know I'm traveling. Tomorrow I will not be on. I will be at Rich Homie Quan's funeral. If time's sake, I'm able to go down to the YSL trial, I will be going down there if time permits tomorrow. So that's what we got going on tomorrow. I'll give y'all an update vlog about what how everything goes tomorrow too. So this weekend, while I had a lot of Mickey Truth events to do this weekend, so I was offline. Good morning, Nikki. I get online, I believe late last night was my first time getting online since Friday, and baby, I was like, what the fuck? Okay, so since we're talking about YSL, let's start with that. They have arrested Little D, Quindarius Zachary, from the hospital. Said that he had just got multiple blood transfusions. So if anybody has ever heard of sickle cell, that is apparently what Lil D has. So yeah, so DA Love, okay, put it in motion for him to be arrested. So while I was trying to catch up on everything, at first he was not on the medical floor, but now it is being reported he is since on the medical floor. So I believe he has now also got a lawyer. It's not really a lot that can be done because they probably about to do what they did with Woody with him, do the forced immunity on him. But we'll see today. So today should be interesting. I'm not sure if he was supposed to be called next for the witness or what, but that's something. And I just want to say, like, people need to understand, those that love to say just because the state, you know, call you as a witness and you got some involvement in something, like, yeah, that's what you get. But don't get it twisted. A warrant to be a material witness can be anybody. It can be your mama, it can be your grandma, it can be anybody. So don't take this as, oh, well, he shouldn't have been in the streets or he shouldn't have been part of it. He ain't had to be part of it. He don't have no open cases. He did his time for what he was convicted of, his Fed case and all that. Again, they just need him as a witness. So don't think this only happens to alleged gang members. Nah, your sweet old granny could be going through the same thing because just had a hip replacement. If they want her, they can come get her ass. So just keep that in mind. Because, you know, a lot of people like to do they righteous shit and be like, oh, they deserve it. Nah, when it comes to witness stuff, that could be anybody. That could be your grandma who don't want to come in, but they know she seen something on her porch that day. Guess what? They can lock her ass up for not want to come in there. So definitely keep that in mind. They started a GoFundMe page for him. I shared it last night. Yeah, I'm trying to do multiple things right now. Hold on. I'm trying to make a thumbnail because I recorded some videos this morning. Let me find the GoFundMe. And of course, Woody went and said some shit. Y'all know I don't even be paying Woody no attention when he does write stuff about anything YSL related. I think he be doing that shit just to get posted on blogs and shit. That boy don't be sincere to me. But hey, that's just my thoughts. Yeah, so this is the GoFundMe. It says support Quindarius Zachary's fight for fair treatment. It goes to say Quindarius Zachary was in prison just minutes after being released from the hospital, despite suffering from sickle cell anemia and recently undergoing 2 blood transfusions. The Fulton County District Attorney's Office and police have acted corruptly, falsely, and claiming to know his whereabouts in order to secure a warrant for his arrest. Currently, Quindarius is held in a regular cell on Rice Street, and his request to be transferred to the medical unit has been denied. If you feel moved to help him and his family obtain legal representation and seek justice, please consider making a donation. And to be honest, if you really feel or say that you're part of the good fight, well, that should be definitely part of your fight. So if you are able to donate, definitely do so. You can donate anonymously, like I did. You don't have to say your name. You don't even have to say it to nobody. Just know in your heart that you did it, because this is definitely a messed up situation. And I normally don't take stance on stuff like that, but I did because like I said, it could be anybody. It doesn't have to just be a alleged gang member. It don't have to be none of that. They can do this to any and everybody if they choose to see fit. Just so happen that Fulton County has all eyes on them, so it's in our face. But this is something Ben could do. Why is my stuff? Look. My thumbnail's gonna suck this morning because I don't know what's going on with Camper. But nevertheless, y'all, we're waiting for trial to start. Should be starting in a few minutes. I just want to make sure I was set up because I have to leave out in an hour. So yeah. It's just this shit just messed up all the way around. And then at the end of the day, it's not even like whatever he had to offer was that strong for them. That's how you know their case ain't shit. Because what he got to offer, according to what they were saying, it's not even that needed to that level. Oh, for sure. And I'm glad you mentioned love. Oh, lying love. So, like I told y'all from the beginning, I told y'all this case was politically infused. And I was on Twitter, and you know, Twitter coming. When I say when for YSL, Twitter is where to go. I think I reposted it too. Let me see, because I don't even remember who posted it at first. I think I did repost it, didn't I? Oh yeah. So Dennis Byron, he is a journalist. He's been a journalist for a while. He posted this, that Adrian Love is running for district attorney for Dublin Circuit. Like I said, this is a politically driven case. They did this shit because if they win it, it's gonna be big for them. I've been told y'all that before all this even started. I told y'all that's what's going on. I'm trying to find something. Yep. So it's accurate. Well, is it? It may not be. Hold on. What county? How long ago was it? So, oh, not that. I saw a post from 2020. I'm skimming through on right now. So I don't know if that's just old because this was from 2020 or what. But nevertheless, you are that. If anything, it shows that she has bigger aspirations, may I say. There's nothing wrong with having bigger aspirations, but when it comes to these attorneys with political values or lack thereof values, you already know what's going on. I thought I did that. All right, hold on, y'all.
The Honorable Page Reese Whitaker's presiding court will now come to order. You may be seated.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Your Honor.
All right. Good morning, everybody. I have, the state owes me hard copies of correspondence to do an in-camera review. Is that ready?
This is being finalized. It is being brought over as it is finalized. We had a number of things that we were going to present to the court today.
Okay, so that was supposed to be to me first thing this morning because I need to actually do the in-camera reviews. When is it going to be? Obviously, I'm not going to be looking at it before lunchtime, but
I think we can have it out to you by lunchtime, and my understanding is that we want to begin with the witnesses and that the things that were told to be available today would be available today. That means it would be near the end of the day.
I specifically said first thing this morning. So I need it by the time we break for lunch because I'm planning to start looking at it at lunch. Okay, what else are you going to have to me?
The court told me to have the four corners case law.
Okay.
Have the response to the brief that Ms. Bossy presented regarding the transaction. I believe that we were also working on narrowing down the wiretap.
Okay. All right. Any time today is fine for the rest of them, but I had specifically said first thing for the in camera. So I need that by the time we break noon, basically. Mr. Steele, I got your, I guess, motions in limine on some of the evidence that y'all reviewed on Friday. And I don't know whether y'all try to narrow it down or not, and that's what we need to litigate still? Is that what that is?
That's what we, and when I say we, it's
The defense?
Yes,
Yeah.
Your Honor. We believe that needs to be excluded.
Okay.
That's correct. The state, upon looking at that, says they agree with it, then obviously we don't have to take the court's time. But that, we try to, go through
Okay, but it hasn't been
vetted.
presented to the state for potential agreement. Okay, so I'll let y'all do that, and then next time we have a non-jury day, whatever is left, we'll take up. Good morning. All right, I had another matter that we were supposed to be starting at 8:45. I'm not sure why we didn't get started until 9. But I'm not going to take the jury's time right now. So just when we break for lunch, I want y'all to come up and I'll apprise everybody of something that I don't think between here and lunch, it's going to matter if y'all don't know. Give me just a second.
This judge don't run no tight ship because she continues to allow the prosecution not to be prepared, not to be ready every time. Every time, Love coming in and she like, well, I told you to do that. You're like, well, get it to me this line. Like, she don't stand on business. She letting them run amok. If you tell her to have it first thing in the morning and she don't have it, then you need to throw all that shit out that she was supposed to have. I'm so sick of hearing that shit. Like, she's never freaking prepared at all. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button. Good morning to everybody.
So do you have the whomever your next witness is going to be ready to go? And is there anything else anybody needs to put on the record before we get the next witness and the jury? Nope. All right, let's have the jury and then. Hmm? And so y'all, when we adjourn for the day, the people who are allegedly going to fix for real the sound are coming to work on it. So let's everybody, fingers crossed that we won't have any more sound issues after the end of the day today. What is it? Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, good to see y'all all back again. I hope y'all had a pleasant weekend. Miss Love, y'all can call your next witness, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. The state now calls Officer Adrian Pitz to the stand.
I can hear you, but I don't know if it's through the mic or
Okay.
not. You can try the other one.
Sure thing, Your Honor. I will.
Raise your right hand. You swear firm testimony you give true, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. I did. Absolutely. State and spell your name, first and last name for the court.
Officer Adrian Pitz, Adrian.
Good.
Pitts, Pitts.
Good morning. Can you hear me quite all right?
Yeah.
All right. I am going to position this like so I can have the use of my hands. Officer, Mr. Pitts, are you employed?
Yes,
Where are you employed?
the Atlanta Police Department.
And how long have you been employed with the Atlanta Police Department?
Approaching 14 years.
And what is your title?
Police officer.
Okay. Have you received any special distinctions as a police officer during your 14 years?
Tactical field operator.
What do you do in that capacity?
Assist SWAT, barricade gunmen, active shooter situations, stuff like that.
Is that also known as TFO for short?
Yes.
And what are your duties and responsibilities as a tactical field officer with the Atlanta Police Department?
Active shooters, barricade gunmen, assistant SWAT, barricade gunmen.
And if you would come just a little bit closer to the mic.
The problem is the mic won't move, so we're gonna try to move that at lunch.
Okay. And this is both of them. Check. Okay.
I'm gonna give you this mic. We've got all right, so that you can face that way.
Okay.
All right. Can you project and see if it works?
Test.
There we go. All right. Are you post-certified, Officer Pitts?
Yes.
And have you been post-certified during the entire duration of your employment with the Atlanta Police Department?
Yes.
And were you post-certified on April 28th, 2015?
Yes.
All right. I want to turn your attention to the date of Tuesday, April 28th, 2015. Do you recall working that day?
Yes.
Okay. What, if anything, do you recall about working that day?
About 4:06 hours that morning, I was dispatched to a person shot.
All right. So now when you say 4:06 hours, what do you mean?
4:06 in the morning.
Okay. All right. You stated that you were dispatched to a person shot call. Did I understand that correctly?
That's correct.
Okay. Were you alone or were you accompanied by a partner?
I believe initially I arrived alone, but other units did arrive shortly after I got there.
And when you were dispatched to this call, how did the call come through?
Person shot at 1428 Dale Avenue.
Okay, that was a poor question on my part. Let me ask a different way. Was it over the radio? Was it a phone call? How did you get dispatched?
I was dispatched over the radio.
And when you were dispatched to that person shot call over the radio, was a location given?
Yes.
What was that address?
1428 Adele Avenue, Northwest.
All right. And were you wearing a body cam that day?
No.
Okay, why not?
Body cams had not been issued at that point.
You just mentioned the address of 1428 Adele Avenue Southwest. In what county is that address located?
Fulton County.
Are you familiar with that community that address is situated in?
Yes.
And what can you tell the juror, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, about that particular community?
It's a lot of single family homes, older Black families own their properties for years and decades.
Okay. Are you acquainted with that particular area?
Yes.
All right. How are you acquainted with that particular area?
Patrol over there. I was assigned to the beat that the shooting took place on. I'm very familiar.
Okay. What zone is that in for Atlanta Police Department purposes?
Zone 1.
Okay. And what beat is that located in?
Beat 104.
Now, can you distinguish for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what a zone is and then a beat?
So the city is broken up into 6 zones. Every zone has 2 sectors. Each sector has 7 beats, and that's just the area of responsibility that each individual who's assigned to the beat handles.
You can continue. I wasn't interrupted.
That's it.
Okay. All right. With respect to a beat, the particular beat that you were responding to on the day of April 28, 2015, how long had you worked that beat?
At that point, maybe about 2 or 3 years, but I've been inside that area for a very long time.
The address of 1428 Adele Avenue Southwest, what, if anything, is situated there?
Residents.
Okay. Is it an apartment complex or a single family home?
Single family homes.
All right. And can you describe for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what, if anything, you saw upon your arrival to that location on April 28, 2015?
Upon my arrival, I saw shell casings in the street, driveway, property damage. The front of the house had been shot up. Vehicles in the driveway had been shot. I think one vehicle on the street also was damaged by gunfire.
where were these shell casings, excuse me, where were these shell casings that you just mentioned located in your life?
The shell casings were,
Just a brief indulgence, Your Honor. All right, I think we got it.
so the,
No, we didn't. It may be mine. I'll project as best as I can, Judge, if that helps to eliminate that distraction from the court.
I can hear. If somebody over at the far side of the room cannot hear, y'all just let me know.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Been told to be pretty loud around. All right, so you can continue with your answer. If you need to re-ask the question, I can.
please.
Okay, all right. You described just a few moments ago that you saw several things. I believe the last question I posed to you was, where were these shell casings that you spoke of earlier?
The shell casings were in the street directly in front of the home
Okay,
and inside the driveway of the residence.
right. When you arrived to the location, was it nighttime or daytime?
It was early morning. Sun was not up. It was night.
What was the weather conditions on that day?
Clear.
Okay. Was there anyone outside preliminarily when you arrived to that location?
Outside in the street, no, not that I remember.
What was the atmosphere like? Was there? Can you describe the atmosphere, if you will, for the jury?
When I arrived, it was very still. You could tell that something had happened. Approached the house. If I remember correctly, the front door was open, but it's like a steel security gate was closed, and there's a gentleman standing in the steel security gate.
Okay. Before I move to what you just said, I want to go back to something you said earlier. You also indicated that there were damage to vehicles that you saw preliminarily when you arrived. Do you recall saying that?
Yes.
How many vehicles do you recall at this time being affected by the defects?
3.
Okay. Do you recall the make and models of said vehicles?
Yes.
Okay. Can you describe for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what those vehicles were, make and model?
It was a red Infiniti. I believe that was in the driveway. It was a blue Dodge Charger. I believe that was also in the driveway, and a blue Chrysler Pacifica parked on the street.
Was the Chrysler in the street?
I believe it was on the street.
Okay. Are you sure about that?
I'm not 100% sure. 10 years ago.
Is there anything that would help you refresh your recollection at this point?
I can go to my report if we have a moment.
Yes, if you would just give me a brief moment. Your Honor, I am going to approach the defense with your permission, of course.
You may.
All right. With a copy of not approaching the witness, Your Honor. Take a look at this clean copy. I'm going to take this one.
Appreciate it.
Take a view of that. And then when you refresh your memory, you can look back up at me and we'll continue. All right.
Okay.
Has your memory been refreshed?
Yes.
All right. Can you now respond to the question that was posed?
Give it to me one more time.
Sure.
Yeah.
Where was the Dodge? Where was the blue Chrysler Pacifica?
I believe the Chrysler Pacifica was in the driveway.
Okay. All right. Okay. Now, Can you describe for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the tag numbers associated with said vehicles?
If I could go to the report.
Sure thing, yes, sir.
Okay, so the Chrysler Pacifica was a Georgia plate, Paul Charlie Sam 5023. The Dodge Charger was a Georgia plate, Paul Victor Yankee 5663.
Okay.
Red Infinity, it's going to be Paul Whiskey King 8190. It's PWK 8190.
Okay, all right. Now, I would like to ask you with respect to each of those vehicles, do you recall by any chance, for the ladies and the gentlemen of the jury, where the defects, bullet defects to those vehicles were located around or about?
Yes, the Red Infinity had defects and damage to the front hood and the front windshield. The Blue Dodge Charger had defects to the front hood, front windshield, and the Blue Chrysler Pacifica had defects to the driver side rear panel area.
All right. On that early morning of Tuesday, April 28, 2015, were you at all able to speak with the owners of said vehicles?
No, I don't remember.
Okay. Were you able to speak with them ever after finished with this particular location responding to it?
No.
Okay. Did you attempt to, or did anyone from your department or precinct or zone try?
I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure I did not.
You described earlier that there was property damage to the home located at 1428 Adele Avenue Southwest. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Okay. Was there any damage to your recollection to any of the other homes located on Adele Avenue?
No, all the damage was focused on the house, and I guess the vehicles were damaged as a result of the house being shot up.
And when you say the house, is it my understanding correct that you're speaking of the 1428 Adele Avenue Southwest address?
Yes.
All right. Earlier, you provided a brief description about what it looked like, that being the house that you just described. You stated that there was a gate. Do you recall that?
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember the color of that gate?
White.
Okay. And when you say a gate, are you referencing a door that appears to be as such, or a physical gate that prevents one from coming into the premises of the property?
It's like a metal security gate that goes in front of the front door. It's common on a lot of houses in the area.
Do you reference a gate in your report?
Yes.
Okay, and is that what you had in mind when you wrote that report?
Yes.
I am now going to show you what has been pre-marked as State's Exhibit. State's Exhibit 8, Kappa Kappa, Your Honor. And I am showing the defense, that is, what has been pre-marked as State's 8, Kappa Kappa. I am now approaching the witness, Your Honor, with your permission, with State's Exhibit 8, Kappa Kappa.
You may
All right.
freely approach the witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. Officer Pitts, you are now holding State's Exhibit 8 Kappa Kappa. From appearance, what is it that I've handed to you?
This is Adele Avenue. Looks like it's going to be to the west of the address.
Okay, and is that the general area that you responded to depicted in that particular exhibit on April the 28th, 2015?
Yes,
And does that exhibit fairly and accurately depict the area of 1428 Adele Avenue Southwest as you remember it on the day that you responded to the shots fired call on April 28th, 2015?
yes.
All right. At this time, Your Honor, the state now moves to admit State's Exhibit 8 Kappa Kappa into evidence and request permission to publish, subject to your rule.
It's admitted and you may.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, prior to publishing State's Exhibit 8 Kappa Kappa, the state is going to first start by publishing State's Exhibit 5 Kappa Kappa. And well, the screen's not working, so I'm going to direct your attention to the monitor above you.
It's working. It just takes a second.
Sure thing, Your Honor. Okay.
Well, I don't know if the witness, can you see it on the screen in front of you?
Yes.
All right.
Oh, okay. All right. That one's working. Okay. Officer Pitts, can you tell us, the ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if you recall this particular location that is depicted in State's Exhibit 5 Kappa Kappa?
Yes, it's going to be the 1428 Dale Ave. It's going to be the house. If you're looking at the picture to the right with the white metal gate.
Okay. And when you say to the right, just so that we are on the same sheet of music, are you referencing the home that has vehicles within the driveway?
Yes.
All right. And when you responded to that location, did it look like how it does on this particular exhibit?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. And I am just going to use this clicker so that it can ease transition. All right. Now turning your attention to State's Exhibit 6 Kappa Kappa, which has already been admitted into evidence. What are we looking at here for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury, Officer Pitts?
That's going to be 1428 Adele Ave. It's going to be the house with the white vehicle driveway.
And I would ask, transition to the next exhibit. State's Exhibit 7 Kappa Kappa. Is this, what are we looking at here?
1428 Adele Ave, house with the white vehicle in the driveway.
And is it fair to say this is just a wider view of the same area that you responded to?
Yes.
And using this exhibit that contains this wider view, can you point to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury, or describe better yet, the general area where you saw the shell casings when you responded at 4:06 a.m. on April 28, 2015?
In the driveway right there, about where the car is going to the street.
Okay. I have a pointer. It's working. All right. I'm so sorry. Okay. When you say driveway,
So right about, right about there where your pointer is.
and when you say in the street, as it relates to the shell casings, are you talking about where the pointer is moving across?
Yeah, about there.
Okay. All right.
Cool.
I'm now turning your attention to State's Exhibit 8 Kappa Kappa, which has just been admitted into evidence. It's just slow. Just a brief indulgence. Okay, I apologize. All right, Officer Pitts, as it relates to State's Exhibit 8 Kappa Kappa, which is now being published on the screen before you, can you tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury which direction this angle of this particular photo is facing or directed towards?
This is Adele Avenue to the west of 1428.
And when you say, of course, there we go. Okay, that direction headed that way where the cursor is moving is considered west in this view?
That's correct.
All right. And did you happen to see any shell casings in this particular viewpoint when you arrived?
I don't believe so. No.
Did you see anything of value during your particular investigation in that particular area of Adele Avenue?
Not that I remember, no.
Earlier, you spoke about you saw shell casings, and I want to continue to probe on that. Do you recall the amount of shell casings that you saw at the scene of the incident?
About 32.
Okay. Do you recall or remember the caliber of shell casings that were in your viewpoint?
Yeah, 223 caliber and 7.62.
You said the last one you said?
7.62.
7.62. Okay. Do you have training or experience firing a rifle?
Yes.
And in your training or experience as an officer, what type of rounds fit into a rifle?
223, 7.62.
And in your training and experience as a law enforcement officer, does a rifle require one or two hands to hold?
Two.
Okay. In your training and experience as one who was fired at a rifle, is this one that is a single shot firearm or one that shoots in rapid succession?
It shoots multiple rounds.
All right. Just a brief indulgence, Your Honor. All right. Senior active, 80 active, you can pull down 8K for a brief moment. All right. When you arrived, Officer Pitz, to 1428 Adele Avenue, which reference to the shooting, did you ever at all count the amount of bullet defects that you saw on the cars or on the home?
I don't remember, but I do remember seeing the bullet defects of residents in the vehicles.
Did you recall there being a lot or a few?
It was a lot.
Were all of the defects that you saw when you responded, did they appear to be fresh?
Yes.
And in your training and experience as a law enforcement officer, how do you distinguish what is fresh versus which is old in terms of bullet defects?
You're gonna have, when you have fresh damage from bullet holes, you'll have smaller microparticles from the material still scattered about on the surface of wherever you're looking at.
And these microparticles that you're describing, are they microparticles from the object or material that has been defected by
Yes.
the bullet, or it's part microparticles from the bullet itself?
It's going to be from wherever the object was that was struck.
And is it fair to say that these microparticles that you're describing, that they're small, are they?
Yes.
But based on your training and experience, it's fair to say that you know what to look for.
Yes.
Is it also fair to say that you've seen multiple such types of? I can rephrase, Ron.
All right.
Have you seen multiple defects before?
Yes.
All right. And is that what informs your ability to? Is it fair to say that is what informs your ability to look for such microparticles in other crime scenes?
Yes.
Are these microparticles that you're describing anything of such value that someone that would come behind you could collect?
I understand that.
Let me rephrase. Is that something that you would normally collect, microparticles?
No.
Okay. Does it have any value outside of you being able to detect whether the bullet defects are old or new?
No.
Okay. All right. I want to turn your attention to the moment where you said you arrived to the location. Did you ever get out of your vehicle?
Yes.
And how were you dressed on that day?
In uniform.
And were you in a marked or unmarked police car?
Marked police car.
And did you ever walk up to the the home of 1428 Adele Avenue Southwest?
Yes.
And what, if anything, did you do or say during that time?
I met a gentleman, black male, medium brown skin tone. He was at the door wearing a Fan America brown sweatshirt. I asked him if he had been injured. He said that he had not been.
I'm going to object to the hearsay.
Sustained.
Your Honor, if I may respond. This is the course of an active investigation, and this is the effect on the listener. He informs what will come next.
Just move on to your next question.
Sure thing, Your Honor. All right, I'll move on to the next question for you. This individual that you described, you just provided a description. Was he tall or short?
I can't remember.
Okay. Do you recall if he was taller than you?
I don't think he was now.
And you described the shirt he was wearing that you said had Fam America on it somewhere. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And when you saw that shirt, did it have any value to you when you saw that name?
Fan America at the time was a prominent gang in the area.
I'm going to object as to improper foundation and move to strike.
Can you lay the foundation?
Sure. I can ask a few preliminary questions, John. Sure thing. What training or experience do you have with gangs in that area?
Plenty of experience. Sometimes that we get information from investigators to keep an eye out for this type of clothing or this type of coloring or these type of tattoos that would indicate gang affiliation.
Okay, and was that your first time seeing?
Excuse me, I'm going to object to that testimony, get an answer to be struck. It violates our ability, the confrontation clause, our ability to question where this information is coming from. It is hearsay. I would ask that answer be struck.
Overruled.
Okay. You can continue with your answer if you had any.
That was it.
Okay. All right. And with that particular background in mind, was this incident to which you responded the first such time that you had ever seen such indicators of clothing as you described?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. All right. And your experience, based on what you had learned prior to that moment in your training, did that language on that sweatshirt have any value to you as a law enforcement officer with such training and background?
Your Honor, I would renew my objection. Indicate there's not proper foundation that's been laid.
I'm sustained at this point.
Okay. All right. Have you ever had formal gang training?
No.
Okay. But have you ever had interactions with gangs?
Yes.
And have you come to learn prior to April 28, 2015? Let me rephrase this question. What identifiers, to your knowledge at that time, in April 28, 2015, did the gang, as you described, Fan America have?
Sometimes they wore clothing that had their.
Sustained.
I'm gonna move on to another question. At that time that you saw this individual with the shirt and indicated that you described, language, Fan America.
Yes.
What, if anything, did you do after that?
I went to the home and looked for an injured party.
Okay. When you say you went to the home, are you saying you went in the home?
I went inside the home and looked for an injured party.
When you went inside of the home, what, if anything, did you see or do?
I spoke with the person who was struck by gunfire. If I may refresh my memory.
Sure.
The victim, Denise Renee Bell.
I want to ask you a little bit before we transition to what you did in the home. I do remember what you said last.
Yes.
Orienting you back to what you said when you met the individual, the male, at the front door. Can you describe around or about his age
He looked to be in his mid to upper 20s.
Okay. What was his demeanor?
He was calm.
And when you entered the home, did you actually, in fact, see an injured party?
Yes.
And where about in the home do you recall her being?
She was in a rear room of the residence.
Did you ever get a name for her?
Yes. Her name was Denise Renee Bell.
Were you ever given a name for the male that met you at the front gated door that you described earlier?
No.
Did you ever ask?
No.
All right. Did he remain the entire time that you were completing the course of your investigation?
No.
Okay. Where do you recall where he may have gone?
No. He's gone.
Do you recall at what point he left the property?
While I was speaking with the victim, he left. When I asked where he went, nobody knew.
I'm going to object to the hearsay.
The answer is nobody knew anyway. So. Sustained.
Your Honor, may I do so?
Move on.
Do you recall what relationship, if any, this unknown black male in this family therapist shirt had with the victim in the home?
Your Honor, to the extent it calls for hearsay, I would object.
I'm sorry, but I couldn't hear what you said.
To the extent that that response calls for a hearsay, I would object.
I'm sorry, re-ask your question. I was focused on what you said and I've lost what the question was.
No problem, Your Honor. All right. Do you recall what relationship, if any, the unknown black male in the family therapist shirt had with the victim?
Okay, sustained to the hearsay objection.
Do you know if he resided at that location?
No.
How familiar are you with Club Crucial?
Fairly familiar.
All right. And how are you familiar with Club Crucial?
Club Crucial is a nightclub that is in the zone. It's on Pinkhead, down at Hollow Parkway.
When you say the zone, what zone are you referencing?
Zone 1.
And being that it was in the zone, is it fair to say that you would pass by there?
Yes.
Okay. And how often would you be in that area, specifically where Club Crucial is located?
Typically, we would patrol and post up outside the club, opposite side of the street when it's in operation.
Okay. Why would you post up across the street from Club Crucial?
Sometimes it does attract a a rowdy crowd.
And how often would you post up?
Every night was open.
Okay. And how often, to your knowledge, would it be open?
Mondays, Fridays, Saturdays, and maybe Sundays.
And to your knowledge, was Tuesday, April 28th, 2015, the early morning hours from when that club would have been letting out?
Yes.
And were you doing directed patrol over there prior to responding to 1428 Adele Avenue Southwest?
I can't remember, but I'm sure that I was.
Okay. And would you do it alone?
No.
And around or about how many law enforcement officers would be a part of that directed patrol team?
Maybe about 2 or 3 units.
When you say units, are you talking about vehicles or persons?
Vehicles and persons. So 2 or 3 officers.
And do you know the hours, if you recall roughly about the hours of operation, not the days, but the hours of operation for Club Crucial?
I recall that it closes at about 3.
based on your dispatch call, about how long after Club Crucial, excuse me, let me rephrase it, I got tongue tied. Based on your dispatch call, about how long after Club Crucial formally closed did this gunshots fired call come in?
A little more than an hour.
About how far, to your knowledge, is Club Crucial from 1428 Adele Avenue Southwest?
1428 Adele Avenue is probably a few miles south of Crucial, maybe about 3 or 4.
Okay. Are you familiar with an Officer Clinton Hayes?
Yes,
All right. And are you familiar with him having patrolled in that particular zone?
yes.
And do you know if he would have been patrolling in that zone around or about the time you were assigned to it?
If we were both working that night, then he probably was, yes.
And would he have also been one who is, I'll rephrase that question. Actually, we'll discard that question. Do you know if he was doing directly patrol on that particular day?
I can't remember.
To your knowledge, what was the busiest night for Club Crucial?
Objection relevance.
Very relevant, huh?
Overruled.
Mondays and I believe Saturdays.
I am now showing you what has been previously admitted as states exhibits 2 Tango through 6 Tango, and they will be published on the screen. Just a brief indulgence, Your Honor, while we get that technology.
No problem.
It's now coming on the screen, states exhibit 2 Tango. Right. These in evidence. Yes. And these, Your Honor, for the court's notification, they were admitted through Officer Clinton Hayes. That's right. Showing you now what has been admitted previously as states exhibit 2 Tango. And you now see it on the screen. What are we looking at here?
That's the front face of Crucial.
And is this how you remember it to have looked in April of 2015?
Yes.
Okay. And is Club Crucial still open and functioning by any chance?
Yes, it is, but I don't work at night anymore.
And does it still look like this, or has it changed to your knowledge?
The red stripe is no longer there, and they have a security gate in front of both driveways.
Right, and I am now transitioning your attention to State's Exhibit 3 Tango. All right, what are we looking at here at State's 3 Tango?
That's Crucial.
All right, do you see the red stripe that you saw in the last exhibit?
No.
Right. Do you see the security gates that you just talked about?
Yes.
And were those security gates there in 2015?
No.
You know around or about when those gates were placed there?
No, maybe last year or so.
Now showing you State's Exhibit 4 Tango. Where do you see the brown structures on that property?
Yes.
Were those brown structures there in 2015 to your recollection?
No.
Do you know around or about when those brown structures got there?
No.
And is it, what are we looking at here?
That's Crucial from the parking lot.
Do you see any tire tread or marks on the ground on this exhibit? Or?
Yes.
All right. Based on your training experience, why would marks like that be in the ground?
Your Honor, that would call for speculation. I'll object.
Overruled.
Tire tread would be on the pavement because maybe somebody was driving and doing donuts.
Okay. Is that what that looks like to you, a donut?
Yes.
Is that some of the rowdy things that you described that would happen over there?
Yes.
I'm showing you the final state's exhibit that will be published from this category of state's exhibit 6 Tango. What are we looking at? What is the ladies and gentlemen of the jury? What are the ladies and gentlemen of the jury looking at here in state's exhibit 6 Tango?
That's still the parking lot of Crucial, but it's the facing east.
Okay. And what street is that running perpendicular to the building?
That's going to be Donnelly Hollowell Parkway.
Earlier, you stated that Club Crucial was about 2 miles or so from 1428 Adele. About how much time in terms of minutes would it take for you to get from Adele to Donnelly Hollowell Parkway, where Club Crucial is situated?
Maybe about 4 or 5 minutes.
And when you say 4 or 5 minutes, are you talking about driving or are you talking about walking?
Driving.
And to be sure, is Club Crucial and Adele Avenue in the same beat?
No.
Okay. Do you know what beat Club Crucial sits in?
Crucial.
Overruled.
Crucial is one of the 109 speed.
Right. I want to turn your attention back to the moment when you entered inside of the residence situated at 1428 Adele. Earlier, you stated that you saw the gunshot victim. Can you describe around or about her age to you at that time?
Mid-20s, late 20s.
Can you describe her demeanor?
She was excited. She was upset.
How was she positioned, if you will, inside of the home?
I can't really remember, but I believe she was, when I spoke with her, she was lying prone on her stomach.
Did you happen to get a date of birth for the victim when you were investigating this particular incident?
Yes.
All right. Would you have included that? In your report?
Yes.
And are you sure at the time that you made contact with her that she was in her mid to late 20s?
Let me refresh my recollection.
All right, I'll give you a few moments to refresh and then look back up at the concepts. I'm gonna ask you a different question, that I think I want to circle back first.
Okay.
A few moments ago, did I hear you correctly when you said that she was excited?
Yes.
All right. When you approached her and saw where she was positioned, did you see where about on her body she was struck by a bullet?
The upper right buttocks.
And was she alive, alert, conscious?
Yes.
Is that yes to all three?
Yes, she was alert, conscious, and breathing.
And was she in need of emergency medical services?
Yes.
And were emergency medical services called at that time?
Yes.
And do you recall who called?
I requested Grady EMS to come out and transport female.
Did you speak with Ms. Bell ever after that day?
No.
During your investigation of this matter, did you learn if there was anyone else did you see anyone else in the home while you were there?
Yes.
All right. About how many persons did you see and observe?
From the start, when I got there, there was 6.
All right. Okay. So, do you recall the names of those persons?
Yes.
All right. What are their names?
The other 4 individuals who were inside the residence, if I can go to my report.
Sure.
Taiwan Marquise Marsh, Cecilia Davis, Diamond Mills, Zaranisha Coakley.
About how old did these persons appear to you?
They all appeared to be in their 20s.
Late or early 20s?
Probably about mid-20s.
Do you know if they were residents of that particular home or passersby?
Calls for hearsay.
Sustained.
Did you, all right, what was their demeanor like when you encountered those 4 individuals you described?
They were all upset and excitable.
How were they dressed?
They were all wearing street clothes, like they had been up.
At 4:06 in the morning?
That's correct. All but, I believe, 1 female.
Just a brief indulgence. At the time that you made contact with these 4 individuals, was the male in the Famerica sweatshirt still present or gone from the premises?
Sustained. Well, actually overruled. That particular question wasn't asked before. Go ahead.
The male in the brown Fan America shirt, he was no longer at the location.
Is that, so you, earlier you described that there were 4 persons inside there at that time, inside the home, at that time?
At that time, when I initially arrived, we had the male in the brown Fan America shirt, the 4 people that I named just a moment ago, and the victim.
Okay. Was there ever a time that you spoke with anyone else?
Yes.
What were their names?
If I go to the report.
Sure.
So while at the location, a Kanisha Harris arrived.
How was she dressed?
She was dressed in street clothes.
Did she come into the house?
Yes.
What was her demeanor?
She was upset as well.
About how old did she appear to you?
About in her 20s.
Okay. Did she come alone?
I'm not sure.
All right. I want to talk about your activity inside of the home a little bit further. While inside of the home, can you describe the interior of the home for the ladies and gentlemen?
The interior of the home had what looked to be other bullet holes in the wall into the interior, but it had been plastered over and covered each individual hole.
Okay. And when you say plastered over, can you describe a little bit more detail, if you can, for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury, what you mean by that?
Like repaired. The bullets came through the home, and then someone came through and put drywall plaster over each individual home or hole.
And did you also see new bullet defects inside of the home that weren't plastered?
Yes.
Did you? Do you have personal knowledge of when that those older bullet defects were present at when they got there?
Yes. Well, I did.
Personal knowledge. Personal.
Oh, no.
Okay. Was there a time that you exited the home at 1428 Adele Avenue Southwest?
Yes.
All right. And what, if anything, occurred at that point?
I spoke to a resident who lived in the neighborhood.
What was that resident's name?
If I can go to report. Anthony Travis.
And about how old did he look to you?
About in his 20s, maybe upper 20s.
Did you initiate contact with him, or did he initiate contact with you?
He initiated contact with me.
All right. What, if anything, did he tell you at the time he initiated contact?
Objection, Your Honor, calls for hearsay.
May I respond, Your Honor?
You may.
It is, in fact, the present sense impression, and it is also going to be an effect on the listener himself.
Your Honor, it's neither of those two things.
Hang on. Let me hear what he's saying.
What he is going to testify, what I am saying, we expect the testimony to be, is going to be tantamount to a present sense impression. If I may approach to further clarify, I don't want to put that on the record.
Do you want to come out to the bench?
Y'all make sure y'all get the lights up. I'm currently driving, but I'm here. Get the lights up, share the live.
Conferences quickly, and it's a good time for break anyway. And officer, you're welcome to step outside for just a few minutes. All right, I don't know, maybe we need to take a look at that case since we're all just looking at it for the first time, because a present sense impression exception doesn't have to be somebody perceiving it at the actual time they are telling about it, the actual time they're perceiving it. It can be, but it can be immediately after as well. So the question is sort of like, how much time can go by for it to still be considered immediate? And I don't know if you know what you expect the witness to testify to, but
Yes, it should be. 1 through 4, JJ. Yes. Yes. And Your Honor, may I ask the court to, for the insight related to that case, if I would, Your Honor?
did you say 370 Georgia 757?
That's correct, Your Honor.
And I don't know, was there a pinpoint site?
I'm in Division 5.
All right. Do you have any idea what do you expect the witness's answer to be when you ask him the time that elapsed?
I expect that he will say that it was sufficiently close enough for the exception to apply in this particular set of facts, Your Honor. But I will say that I will not make a misrepresentation to the court. I will do as the court is instructed, nonetheless, while still reading this case law to further bolster my belief or the state's expectation that and support that it was sufficiently close enough in time.
Okay, well, I doubt if he's going to answer the question. It was sufficiently close enough in time in order to get this within the exception. I'm asking, can you step back out? I sort of gave you that instruction as though it was an option, but we'd actually like for you to stay out till we call you, but you didn't know that. So 370 Georgia 757 and nothing's coming up. Georgia appeals, that makes a difference. Okay, sorry. So do you have any idea, Mr. Brown, the amount of time he's going to say elapsed?
I would say about 20 minutes, but I want to confirm that before I stick that in.
Well, I mean, obviously, but okay, well, I don't know if 20 minutes is going to get you within the exception. I guess we'll see what he says, but.
Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
When the court has an opportunity, what I would suggest, and what is probably appropriate, is for the prosecutor to give the court, I think you asked for this, a proffer of what the witness would say. The
Mhm.
Brantley decision does give, in Division 5, gives a pretty specific definition of present sense impression. And I don't know that there's been a case that says, well, 5 minutes is good, 20 minutes is good, 25 minutes is good. I don't know.
Mhm.
I've not seen one that goes with that much specificity. But I think the case is clear, and the case law, other than Brantley, is clear that there has to be a significant amount of, I use the word contemporaneity, if that's a proper word, has to be sufficiently contemporaneous to be free of any sort of misrepresentation by the witness. And although it doesn't have to be immediately contemporaneous, the witness doesn't have to be making a statement right at the time they're observing it. I think the cases contemplate that they have to be made very soon in time thereafter. And at this point, without a proffer, we just don't know what time period we're talking about, so that we know whether it meets the definition of not.
Okay, well, yeah, I see substantial contemporaneity, which that's a word I've never heard before, of the event and the statement to negate the likelihood of deliberate or conscious misrepresentation. So if that's what we're evaluating, then this may be within that. So thank you for pointing that out. Is there any indication in this Brantley case how long past the event the grandmother's statement was?
I'm looking.
They have unhelpfully declined to include that information within the case, it appears.
I do not see it, Judge.
So,
Your Honor.
yes, sir.
If I may, at this point, I just want to turn the court's attention to 4 Kappa Kappa, which has been admitted into evidence. It is the call for services report that was admitted prior to this witness testifying.
Okay.
And the court inquired as to the amount of contemporaneity
Uh-huh.
that took place between the statement and the call.
Uh-huh.
And with that exhibit, I do have an answer, Your Honor.
All right.
The call was received at 4:06, and Officer Pitz arrived at 4:08.
Okay, right. So I'm asking, any idea how long after the event he spoke with whomever this witness is? And you were saying you think within 20 minutes, so.
May I ask for a moment to speak with witness to give a proffer as to what I expect that outside of the courtroom?
No, our position would be bring the witness in. Let's have the witness answer that question.
Yeah, agreed. You can just ask him to step back in.
Ron, you want him on stand for that question?
Yeah,
Okay, I just want to be sure.
if he knows.
All right. Officer Pitts, it's a little different. It's not a couple people sitting over here.
Okay.
I have a couple of questions to ask you for the court's purposes. If you recall, around or about which time do you recall the call coming in for service?
We already know that. Just get to the point.
Sure. Do you know around or about the time that elapsed between you arriving to the scene and speaking with Mr. Anthony Travis? Was it hours or was it a few minutes?
Minutes.
Okay.
Y'all want to ask him anything about that?
Yes, please. May I?
You may.
May I stay here, Judge, and if I speak to the
You
microphone?
can, yes.
Officer Pitts, is it?
Yes.
All right. On that note, were you the person that spoke to Anthony Travis?
Yes.
And you indicated previously you got to the scene and you went inside, spoke to some people. So give us an estimate as best you can from the time of your arrival to the time you actually speak to Mr. Travis or he comes to you. How much time had passed?
Maybe about 15, 20 minutes.
15 to 20 minutes?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. You can step back outside. All right. My ruling would be that's close enough in time to negate the likelihood of deliberate or conscious misrepresentation. So I'm going to permit that as a present sense impression exception to hearsay. Does anybody need to use the restroom before we have the jury back? Let's all take as quick of a break as we can because we've already been out about 15 minutes. Thank you.
One of my esteemed colleagues from across the aisle here, I believe that he is here as a representative from one of our communities. And I haven't spoken with him, so I know he wants to approach.
All right, what's your name? Okay, I'm sorry, I hadn't seen you in a while. You looked familiar to me, but.
Everybody thinks I'm dead.
Okay. Are you asking to approach without the defense?
No, make a mistake. That's fine. I just want to throw on the record. I'm representing Mr. Zachary, family opinion. I understand he was picked up on material witness. I would ask the court to release him. He's got sickle cell bad. When he was picked up, he just exited the hospital. They had to do 2 blood replacements, transfusions. He's in the hospital, or he's in Brady right now. That Brady, he's in Fulton County Jail. He's got pneumonia. He will not live, Judge. I talked to the family. In the last 4 months, he's been 10 out of the hospital 10 times. He's extremely sick. He will not survive in Fulton County. I would ask that he be released, and I'm going to be in touch with him. He will come to court when you ask him to come to court.
Go ahead.
If not, he won't live.
All right, so the information I got this morning, and y'all, this was actually what I wanted to discuss on the record, had we, at the bench conference, had we gotten started at 8:45, like I asked for us to get started. So anyway,
I'll wait until what he was like. I'll stay
no, this has nothing to do with that. But the information that I got this morning from the sheriff's office was that he is in Grady.
Your Honor.
So I don't know how recent your information is.
I talked to family 2 a.m.
Well, we've spoken with the sheriff has informed us since that time, and that was what I wanted to bring to the court's attention.
Okay.
I didn't know that.
Judge, and I think that this is a matter that I can speak with Mr. Scheib about. I don't know if he wants to fully flesh it out now, but I did want to approach the court with the information and the defense with the information we had. There's more information than just that.
Okay, why don't we just, let's have a bench conference. But I would like to be able to just talk about it without them all huddling at the bench. So just don't record this, please. And you're not supposed to.
So it sounds like they about to discuss Lil D or Quindarius Zachary situation. Not sure what all they're gonna put on the record about it, but we'll see what happens. I had to glance down. What's up, KG? What's up, Kimbella, Blue, everybody? Y'all, I'm driving, so I'm not able to really pay pay attention to the comments like that. But they're having a, I guess they're on their break now. So we're here until then, and I'll be checking in throughout. I think the break is gonna be like 10 minutes or so, and then they should come back. I'm not sure. I'm still wondering why they just ain't put it on record yet. As far as the situation with Lil D, because obviously it's all out and about it. But in the meantime, between time, the officer is, I think it's Officer Pitz is currently the witness on the stand. They're still talking about the drive-by shooting, which Monton, Lil D, and the other Lil D pled guilty to. The crazy catch about this is that this is the home of, or the family or relatives of Darian Mills. Y'all have heard me talk about Darian Mills in the past. He is on the witness list. I'm not sure if he is going to be called to testify, but he's currently in jail. I'm not sure if he got life, but he got a lot of years. I can't remember exactly what his sentence was. But he is also the person who was arrested along with Tay when they was looking for Tay for the little Woody shooting of his baby mama and his baby. So these situations tie in so much. But again, I don't know if 100% if he's going to be called to testify, but he is on the witness list. But this shooting is in regards to his family members. Like, I'm not sure if that's his aunt that was on the stand last week or not, but yeah, all these situations just are clustered together. But they should be coming back soon. Like I told y'all yesterday and this morning, I am currently traveling, so I'm not able to really be on like that. Hopefully my reception stays well, but I'll continue to tap in and we'll talk about it. Until then, y'all just let me know what y'all think in the comments. Hey sis, what's up with Butter Cake? Why y'all be asking me about that dude case? I'm not following that man case. All I can tell you, his ass is in jail, gonna be in jail at least to the end of this month. And I hope the feds come pick his ass up. That's the best response I got for you. I'm not following that man case like that. Dang, they ain't back yet. This a long 10 minutes break. God dang. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button, share the live. We waiting for them to come back. They had a bench conference. Plus, they was on a restroom break. When they come back, they supposed to finish out the testimony for Officer Pitts. I'm not sure how my sound sounds, but hopefully y'all can hear me clear. All right, we still waiting for them to come back. It's been the longest 10 minutes. Feel like when Glanville used to be like, take a 10-minute break. But we just waiting it on out. And we're still waiting on them to come back. I swear it been about 30 minutes, seemed like. Look, I'm not listening to no music or nothing in the car because I'm thinking they about to come right back on. They need to bring their tail on, y'all. Y'all make sure y'all share the live, hit the like button.
On that prior ruling, I found a case that I think is directly on point.
Okay, well, did you just find it after I said, is there anything else before we get the jury in?
I do have that case, Judge.
Okay, give it to me really fast.
364, Georgia App, 518, Grimes versus the state. It's 2022 case.
So, Ms. Brown, did you hear what he just said?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Brown.
Sorry?
They call me Ms. Brown.
Well, you know what? I'm sorry, but you didn't introduce yourself, and so I was just taking a stab at it. What's your name?
Seth Brown. 88 Seth Brown.
Okay, so what was wrong with me saying Mr. Brown?
You said Ms.
No, I didn't. I said Mr. Brown. I just slide my words into each other sometimes. So, okay. Thank you. You can be seated.
Case. We see.
Well, I'll try to look at it on the fly here and,
What was that pin site, since we can look at it?
Hmm?
That pin site that he provided before?
I don't know. Is there a pin site? Sorry, y'all. I thought we were ready, but of course, after I say bring the jury, we have some more. Oh, wait, here's some more. Thank you. Had a chance to take a look, to respond. I'm so sorry, y'all.
Good morning, everybody. For those who just joining me, I am currently on the road. I'll be on the road for most of the day, so I'll be listening. They just came back from break. I think they're reviewing something at this moment, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, this is where we at for the time being. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button.
Your Honor, the state's position hasn't changed much. This doesn't seem to impact where the state stood as it relates to the last break. Additionally, I'll just say, Judge, while contemporaneity is understood to be, in fact, a part of the analysis, a reference to a citation from Carlson's Rules on Evidence further advises that precise contemporaneity, though it's not required.
We know that already, so that doesn't shed any additional light on the subject. All right, why don't you just ask the leading questions and focusing on what matters with regard to this exception, and I'll see how it comes out.
Welcome back, Officer Pitz.
Hello.
All right. All right. Before the break, you indicated that you spoke with an Anthony Travis. Do you recall that statement?
That's correct.
All right. Can you tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what it is that you spoke with him about?
Mr. Travis said that before the shooting occurred, there was a
This subject matter, not what he said.
The subject matter, without saying what he said.
he witnessed the shooting occur.
All right. Did he describe, if at all, if he saw the person who conducted the shooting?
He did.
Okay. Were you able to, from that conversation with Mr. Travis, were you able to make out a description of what the person he saw without saying what he said?
So what I want you to focus on is what would make a difference with regard to this exception. Time and.
Okay. I will withdraw that question and ask a different one. What did he describe that he saw? Hold, one second. How long after you arrived to the scene of the incident did you interact with, how long after you arrived to the scene of the shooting did you interact with Mr. Travis? About how long after?
About 15, 20 minutes.
And did he give you details about what he saw regarding the shooting that took place prior to your arrival?
He did.
And without saying what Mr. Travis said, was Mr. Travis able to describe what the shooter did?
He was, yes.
Okay. All right. Was he able to describe to you at that time the methods of transportation, if any, for that particular shooting?
Yes.
And earlier you talked about the ages of the persons you interacted with that day.
Yes.
Do you recall the dates of birth associated?
Not off my memory. I would need my report.
Okay, I am now approaching you again with what has been pre-marked as State's Exhibit 500R. And want to give you this is the exhibit again. And when you've had a moment to refresh your recollection, please look back up at me when your memory has been so refreshed.
Yes.
All right, so what is the date of birth for the victim, Ms. Denise Bell?
January 21st, 1956.
Based on that date, would she have been in her mid to late 20s?
No.
Okay. What about the dates of birth for the other persons that you interacted with on that early morning of April 28th, 2015?
Yes. Miss refreshing my memory. Miss Diamond Mills was born 10/30/1995. Mr. Travis or Anthony Travis, 2/27/1959. Cecilia Davis, 11/13/1962. Diamond Mills, 10/30/1995. Zuranisha Coakley, 7/15/1994. And Taiwan Marsh, 3/14/1997.
Have just a few more questions for you, Officer Pitz. The shell casings that you talked about, you saw earlier. Did you ever collect those for evidentiary purposes?
The crime scene tech collected the casings.
And do you recall who that crime scene tech was that came to that scene?
I believe it was Turner. His name was Turner.
And do you know who called him out to that scene?
That would have been me, if I'm remembering correctly.
And without saying anything that he said, do you normally have any kind of interaction with him prior to him getting started with what he does?
No.
Just a brief indulgence.
Sure.
And around what time did you leave the scene?
I can't remember.
Okay. And do you recall who all was still there when you left?
No, I don't remember.
And did that conclude your involvement with this case?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, say passes.
All right, are there defense questions for this witness?
No questions on behalf of Mr. Williams.
None. All right, coming up.
Hello. Good morning.
My name is Max Shard. I represent Shannon Stillwell. All right. You arrived at the scene, and it sounds like within 15 to 20 minutes you were speaking to a Mr. Travis.
Anthony Travis, yes.
Okay. And Mr. Travis was, to your understanding, not someone that lived in that residence.
That's correct.
Okay. And he approached you on the street as you were leaving?
I believe that he spoke with an officer standby, and then when I got out there, he approached me.
Okay. And he gave you a description of the person whom he saw shooting at 1428 Adele Avenue, correct?
Correct.
Okay. He described that, and he gave a description also of a car, correct?
That's correct.
He said one car left the scene, one car, right?
That's correct.
Okay. And he described the person shooting a gun that had a banana clip, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, and you described that individual as a black male?
That's correct.
Short black male, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, and did you get a height range or was it just short?
I believe it was just short.
Okay, and you described that gentleman as having dreadlocks, correct?
That's correct.
The shooter being short black male with dreadlocks.
That's correct.
All right. Can I approach?
You may. Yes.
Can I approach with 410 wide and 413 wide?
You may freely approach the witness, yes.
Thank you. Could you look at 410 wide?
Yes.
Okay, and I'm not going to ask you the identifications of any of those individuals, but do you see an individual wearing, do you see a date on that poster?
Objection, Judge, relevance.
I don't know what
I'm sure
it
you'll
is,
find
so.
the attached description.
Okay, that was an inappropriate way to answer that. I don't even know what the exhibit is, so I can't rule on it.
I would ask that we approach, Your Honor.
All right.